have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
Give me the bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Yo! I learned my lessons from last time. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day.
I did you a favor.
Yes. I just say later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like some of our drawstrings, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books.
I was made to kill. So count yourself lucky that I choose not to.
Woo! Yes, it is Sunday. Woo! Yes, guys, it is Sunday. You know what that means? Another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their books and their campaigns. Because I'm kind of done with mainstream comics. The mainstream sucks, and indie is where the passion is, guys. Whew, welcome everyone on this warm day. It's very warm here. I bet it's pretty warm where you are. Also, there are some time zones. I know there are some people watching right now who got up really early to be here, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I had this guest for today, and he had to cancel, and then I reached out to the guest that was supposed to come on next week, the guest for today, and he said, yes, let's do it today. So luckily, the show can go on because we need a show every Sunday, right? Let's see who's in the chat with us today. Gorilla Mar. I saw Gorilla Mar. What's up, guys? Welcome, Gorilla Mar. Welcome, sir. How are you doing? And then we have Miranda. Miranda, hello. I'm honored to be here after a night shift during a full moon. What? During a full moon? So what do you do? What do you do during a full moon? Wait, and then we have David Feed. David Feed, welcome. Oi, mates, what's up? Yeah, welcome, David. Nice to see you, sir. Then we have, of course, the guest, 9 Realms Publishing, Michael Oden in the green room at the moment. I'll bring him in a minute. Good morning. Let me see. Guys, share out this stream. Let's get in some more people. Welcome, Mike. Welcome. Good evening, Dave. Good day, Michael. And good everything else to everybody else. The Embrace is a good-looking pair of books. Yes, it's now a pair. So, Jolly Green. Welcome, Jolly Green. Nice to see you. Miranda says, I work at a hospital on a med surg floor. It gets crazy. I bet. Wow, that's important work. Sometimes I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm just making comic books, and other people are being doctors and nurses, and you know, it's the things that actually need to be done. John A. Douglas, welcome, John. Welcome in the chat. Nice to see you today. And we have John's Long Box. Hey, can't wait for Perfect 10 number 5. John, we launch this Saturday on Bancroft Show. I've been busy the entire weekend setting up the campaign. It's a lot of work. We have a lot of add-ons and extras and stuff. And this campaign is for 2 books, 2 new books, right? And you can still sign up, by the way. So the link to the Perfect 10 book 5 pre-launch page is in the description of this video. Go check it out. Go sign up. You have 1 week left to do so. Comic books are awesome. Well, some of them are. Not all of them, but some of them are. Mine are. And the books of the guest of the hour also. Welcome, Suzanne. Wow. A lot of new people also. Welcome, Suzanne. Dave, one of the hardest working dudes in comics, no lie. Yeah, and still, John, thank you so much. But still, I think my books are it need to go faster. You know, it's I want to produce books faster. I think every indie creator has that feeling that things are going too slow, but a book takes what it takes, right? The production, it's a long process. It is what it is. All right, guys, it's time for the guest, the wonderful guest, one of my favorite people in the indie sphere. He's always fun to talk with. Oh, wait, Felipe Cortez, welcome. Sorry for butchering your name, sir. Morning, love the artist edition. Oh, thank you for buying the artist edition. If everything went well, people should have them by now. Apart from when you're in Europe, because I don't have my own books yet. Everything goes through Critical Blast, right? I need your books in my collection. Slow down, I'm way behind. All right, John, I will slow down a little bit, and there will be a catch-up tier in the upcoming campaign. If you missed anything, just throw it in there. You can buy all the books that you're missing, and thank you all so much for the support, guys. All right, time for the guest. Let's do this. Let's bring in the guest. He has a wonderful campaign, and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about this awesome book, guys. So may I have a very warm welcome for the guest of today, Mr. Michael Oden.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Woo! There he is.
Oh, I decided to do this outside, and apparently that was not the right decision. And I'm already set up out here, so we're going with it. But it was nice when I first came out here, and now after sitting out here for like 10-15 minutes, it's gotten real humid.
Oh wow, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy today. Wow, but we'll manage. It's just a small hour, and then you can go back in the house.
Yes.
Which brings
we're
me
gonna have a
to
good time. I always have a good time on your show, Dave. It's never a dull moment.
Excellent. I wanted to make a little segue because it was warm. So I was like, okay, so it's warm. So I asked you the question. The first question that I have to ask all my guests is, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Devil's Backbone Vienna Lager. Always a good decision. They're a local brewery to Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they are my favorite beer.
Excellent. Beer today. Jens, we're drinking beer today.
Have I told you? You are my very best friend. And best friends, they drink beer. Let's have a beer.
Okay. Thank you, Jens. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wait. Did I miss? No, I don't think I missed anything in the chat. I'll try to keep up today, guys. Michael, how have you been? You launched the book, so things are pretty hectic, I think.
I mean, yes. Like Friday, I was on 6 streams. Like I was on Literature Devil in the morning, then I was on
Literature Devil. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was on Nevermind Furthermore. I was on Von Coleman. Then I was on who else was I? I know I wrapped up my streaming that night at Phil Diaz. But then at 5 I was on somewhere as well. Where was I on at 5?
You totally blanked out. Too much.
It's been a long week. Like we had a very good launch, and then we got like shadow banned as we launched, which was great. Which
Yes,
has
crazy.
been ever so fun to deal with. But despite Indiegogo's best efforts, we've got 200% of our funding goal. So
Fantastic. I
Yeah.
think you basically funded the first day, right?
we funded within 30 minutes. It was
30
pretty-
minutes. That's nuts.
It was pretty insane.
Yeah, you know,
it was a pretty great feeling. I'm not gonna lie.
no. And there's been a lot
by
of
the end of like the launch night, we had already pretty much cleared our first stretch goal.
Ooh, wow.
And then between the shadow banning and then current events that happened last weekend, it was rough.
Right.
But we hit kind of a deadlock, and then things picked back up throughout the week, and we've been getting pretty steady stream of backers throughout the week. We're at like, I think, what is it, 76 right now, and
76.
we are at like
right now, yes,
200. So we're like less than 1,500 away from our next stretch goal, which is a pretty awesome feeling to have.
That's fantastic. Right. So, Michael, what do you usually do during this show? We are no strangers, right? But there are people watching right now who may not know you, never heard of you. So, can you tell us a little bit how your journey into making comics started? What happened?
Well, so I guess my first, the beginning of my journey really happened in my deployment in 2016 when I started doing work as a freelance journalist. I started on a site called Movie Pilot. And one of the things that Movie Pilot does is they would allow anybody to write for them. And they would like go through and look through people's portfolios and everything, and then like pick up the more talented people and bring them into their like verified creator academy. And then those guys would become like the official Movie Pilot staff, where they would be getting paid for their articles. Not like large amount, but like,
sure,
it was still something. So while I was on deployment, I was writing for Movie Pilot, and I did this review of Superman Rebirth issue 2. That the title of the article was An Ode to Fatherhood. And
wow.
Movie Pilot noticed it, kind of tweaked some of the formatting, and then republished it to the site, and it blew up. Like by the time Movie Pilot shut down, that article had over 17,000 reads. Like it was obscene. But like, so they brought me into their verified creator program after that. I did that while I was deployed, and so I was writing professionally for them for a couple of months.
So what made that article so popular?
It was just like, the DC had just started their Rebirth initiative, and it was just a well-written and fun review about a very good book. People like, it's funny because like now there's so much content that's generated around things about what we don't like about mainstream stuff, but I think that there's this kind of refreshing element to talking about something that you love.
Right.
That at the end of the day, while drama and negative viewpoints may get a lot of engagement, there is something to be said for talking about something that you genuinely love. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
And, it connected with people. So, at that point, I kind of branched off from that and started doing my own blog for a little bit. Then I was hired by Heroic Hollywood, which I worked for maybe 2.5 weeks. It was like the most miserable experience in my life, so I stopped doing that.
Was that a website?
Heroic Hollywood, yeah, like they're a pretty big industry news trade at this point. Like you'll see them all over social media. They handle a lot of like industry news, specifically in like comic book film and stuff like that. And then I ended up getting brought into Up Your Geek, which is actually how I met Dave. Was at that point in time, I was doing articles for Up Your Geek, and I was just kind of getting started in the indie writing field. But like, I was doing I was doing a lot of op-ed pieces, but I was also their guy that would handle reviews for like indie film and indie comics. And so that's how I really started getting into doing my own stuff, is because I had a lot of people who were asking me, hey, why don't you do your own books? And for the longest time, my answer was like, well, writing a book in the industry is, not an easy deal. Like it's a very, it's not a particularly friendly place to get into as a writer. Like there's not a lot of doors that open for writers to get into the mainstream. And in terms of doing stuff on my own, it was just like, creating a hero or something like that isn't just something that just
was this also during the period that it was harder to get into the industry because of certain like born traits that you didn't have?
Not really. I mean, like at the end of the day, even with all of that stuff, when you go onto these websites, right? Like, and this has been pretty universal for a while. Most of these companies outside of like Image and Boom and stuff like that, they have a very strict no unsolicited pitch standard. So it's not like you can just go and hit up Marvel and be like, hey, I have this pitch for a storyline, right? So you can hit up DC and say that. And then when you look at like Image, Dark Horse, Boom, and all of these, while they're mainstream, they are like the independents of mainstream. All of those companies require you to provide at minimum 5 pages of fully rendered and lettered art. So it's like just to get your foot in the door, and this as a creator day, like 5-6 pages, that's like $1,200.
Yeah.
Like with a decent art team, that's $1,200 right there. So like just to knock on the door at one of these places, you have to have a pretty substantial bit invested to go forward.
Sure.
So it's not a particularly friendly place to get into from a writer's perspective.
By the way, it does make me wonder how many like storylines were born in the mainstream from like people just sending stuff in, like I have this pitch, this concept, right? And they're like, we're not hiring, but thank you so much for the idea.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like that's the reason why they don't have the unsolicited, why they have the unsolicited pitch policy, is because I'm fairly certain that was something that would happen in the past. I know that for the longest time, both DC and Marvel used to have like annual fan contests for both art and writing, right? Like this is how Jeff Johns got discovered.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But they don't really do that anymore. Which is all well and good. I mean, at this point, I don't think I'd want to work for any of those companies.
No, same here.
But like, it's definitely one of those things where there's a pretty massive gate in front of you from a writer's perspective. Like as an artist, you can always go show your portfolio around at conventions. And there are recruiters there, and there are annual art submissions held by all of those guys. And yeah, you might get told, you're ready to go, or no, you're not. But you just keep on having to work until you get that yes, and you'll be good. But from a writing perspective, there is not really much like that. And so I would like tell people that. And then in like 2020, the crowdfunding boom really started. And we were seeing a lot more books go through crowdfunding and be successful. And we're not just talking like, I made like $2 or $3 grand. It's like, no, like I made like tens of thousands of dollars through crowdfunding to produce a book. So I was like, okay, well, around that time I had just finished writing my first ever comic script for a book called Elysian Fields.
Yep.
And so I started crowdfunding, At that time, I was also doing a lot of indie book reviews, and so I kind of leveraged the position I had where I was doing these indie comic reviews to get professional connections to figure out, okay, where do I need to go promote, right? Like where do I go promote, and where do I go and grow my audience, and how do I do this, and how do I do that? And that's how I met like you, for instance, and then you introduced me to a whole bunch of people. That's how I met Scott Weldon. I reviewed his Harlan Buck series, which is fantastic. And I hope it comes back at some point.
I never read it.
Oh, it's so good. I loved Harlan Buck.
By the way, do you still write for Up to Geek, or is that over?
I mean, I technically still do, but like effectively, as with what happens with everything, like internal drama at that company kind of spread up between a few of the people that founded it, and at like one of the founding members went their own way, and then there was a tragedy that happened with another one, and so the guy that was left tried to kind of keep things together, but eventually just people went off and started doing their own things. I'm making books. I know John, one of the other writers that I would frequently talk to, he has his own like nerd podcast that he does that takes up his time. I think Lamar, the guy that was the last of the co-founders that's still running it, still does stuff for Up Your Geek, but they don't put out near the level of content that they were like 3 to 5 years ago.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. I mean, is what it is. Like, it happens.
In the meantime, let me refresh this. You never know, right? We have with 76 backers. Guys, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. Go check it out. If it's something you seem to like, you never know, right? So maybe we should move towards the campaign a little bit. The Embrace too, because you had you do a lot of different things. I'm more focused like on a specific theme, like within this superhero thing, right? But you do like historical things. Then you have a lot of stuff. So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, I mean, it depends on like the project, right? Like, Elysian Fields, and its subsequent reboot that I'll be doing here in the next year is drawn from my love of mythology. I grew up and my dad used to read me the Iliad as my bedtime story. And then, in my group of friends growing up, we would always get into arguments about who would win in a fight, not just between, superheroes, but like heroes of mythology. Like, hey, who would win in a wrestling match between Hercules and Beowulf? Or who would win in a fight between, Achilles and Gilgamesh, right? Like, like these were things that I would, get into arguments with my friends growing up. And so it was just a fun way to kind of take that and make it into a book. The Embrace, in very high contrast, was kind of born out of a very dark period of my life where there was a lot of pain and anxiety over what was going to happen next. I at the time I was going through a pretty rough custody fight. So like a lot of the anxiety and fear that I had about losing my kid is what kind of drove and fueled the emotional storytelling of The Embrace. And, like all of every single project is born out of like a different thing for me. Like, we did Judex last year with Global Frequency Studios, and that's kind of born out of my love of like pulp stories like The Shadow and, stories and French culture. The answer is just it comes from a whole bunch of different things in my life, and it's all stuff that I'm incredibly passionate about.
That's fantastic when you have such a broad range, because I was like hired to write something for someone. So I was written scripts for other people, right? And sometimes
it's
these
fun,
are
but it's an arduous task, isn't it, Dave?
yes, sometimes these are things that I wouldn't normally write, but it's and then it requires extra work. It requires research, and it's but it's fun. It's really cool to expand your reach as a writer, right?
Mhm.
Great. So fantastic. So the first Embrace, what was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was back in 2021.
Right,
We were
yeah.
actually going to do this campaign last year, but life kind of threw a roundhouse kick at my face. And so like there were a lot of things that kind of happened where I just wasn't in the right space mentally to do it.
Sure. Yeah. That's yeah. I can imagine. It's you have to be in the right mindset. So, but the first book was well received, right?
Yes, very well received. I'm very fortunate on that. So far, there have been way more positive reviews about my work than there have been negative. I haven't seen many negative, but I'm sure that there are some out there. But for the most part, we've gotten pretty solid reviews on everything that I've done so far in terms of the storytelling.
That's great. That's great. By the way, guys, if you back this campaign during the stream, let us know so we can have a little celebration. Also know that at the checkout, Indiegogo has this silly feature.
Yeah, please be sure that you aren't like being forced to tip extra because Indiegogo will do that to you.
Yeah. Whoever thought that was a good plan, really stupid. Anyway, the Embrace 2. So is the Embrace 2, is this story that this book tells exactly the story that you wanted to tell when you finished the first book? Or
I mean, yeah, like it's
changed?
it's the direct continuation, and like it pretty much since we figured out since the first book has been done, we kind of knew what we were going to be doing for books 2 and 3 and everything like that. Like I have the ending of the series I have like written out. Like I know where this is going to go. It's going to be like a 5-6 issue miniseries.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
Yeah, like we're pretty much like with this book we'll be from a story standpoint almost halfway done with the narrative.
Right. Welcome, Good Stuff, by the way. He just dropped in to say hi because he can't stay.
What up, Good Stuff?
I will send you a message today or tomorrow because I need something done. So, yeah. Right. Okay. So, yeah, because you work together with Dean James, the artist, right? So how did you connect with Dean for this specific project?
So that goes back. So like when I initially came up with this concept, I was having a lot of issues visualizing the character. And so I had reached out to a bunch of people about who to get for because initially I wanted to do this all in black and white. And so I was reaching out to people about, who would be able to do a good black and white book.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up hearing back from a bunch of people, but Lee Byron Carver, better known as Man Called Kiwasabi on YouTube.
Yep.
He linked me up with with Dean and said that, Dean had a very unique style that really does have a strong balance of darkness and light.
Right.
And so I reached out to Dean and I kind of pitched him the project and he loved the idea. And so we spent the next week having 3-hour conversations on the phone on what exactly I wanted from this character.
Yeah. Dean is very, very eager with projects, right?
Well, I mean, and me as well. Like I can sit there and just start rambling on about something and all of a sudden, what might have been a normal 30-minute conversation between normal people turns into like a 3.5-hour rant. So like Dean and I were on these phone calls like the entire week, and then he sent me like the initial sketch, and like there were some edits that needed to be done, but it was very much like, okay, this is it. Like I could see the character in my head now, and then I started getting to work on the script, and within like a week and a half to 2 weeks, I had the first pass for the Embrace one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, "Hey, Dean, do you want to do the art?" And he was just kind of shocked because it was his first book. Like he had never done a comic before then. And so he's like, "You want me to do it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, man. I mean, you designed him, and it looks great." So then that's how we moved forward.
Wow, excellent. It's really cool that you give people a chance, right? To we all need that first shot, right? First shot at something.
Absolutely.
Some familiar faces here. Is this from the second book or the first?
This is from the second book.
All right. Yeah.
Dean's art has leveled up pretty immensely.
Who did the colors, by the way?
We went with Eugène Bedevue.
Okay.
He does colors for like Phil Diaz on Lost Pages. He does.
All right. Yeah. Great. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a good thing you didn't go with black and white like you.
I mean, so like as a fun thing that we do is on the first book, the one of everything tier, and then on this one the collector box tier.
Mm-hmm.
There is a spectral edition of the book that you get that's a black and white version.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Just as a nod to that, and it's like the ultimate collectible thing. So like if you get all of these if you were getting all of these books on each of the original campaigns, you will get and you get that tier, and you have the spectral edition of each book. By the end of the Embrace, you will have a complete black and white version of the Embrace, and it's a like super limited collector item.
Okay, beautiful. The rants are great. Yeah, people love that. People love the rants, man. But especially when you have something like to say, you have people that go on rants with like these meaningless things.
Yeah.
Right? So have some substance, please. So Moshe, we have a lot of like Easter eggs in here.
Yep.
Cool stuff. And is this deliberately like that it gives off this Spider-Man vibe, or is it something that just happened?
No, like when I was writing like the first book, and we were talking about like how I wanted the suit to look and everything like that, there was definitely a lot of talk of making his use of his abilities very similar to like symbiote Spider-Man.
All right.
And we in the first book, you have this kind of interaction with Clarence and David where they're talking about Clarence sneak reading David sneak reading Clarence's editions of the Astonishing Arachnatine. Right? Like so just as a way for us to like have like Spider-Man references without opening ourselves up to anything.
Right. Yeah. This cool. So but the story is very dark, right? So is this something
yes
that
no? I would say so. Like when you read the Embrace, yes, there are dark moments. Like in the first book, the first 10 pages are like very dark and on a very emotional level. But once David appears in the story and they become the Embrace, there is a levity in their dynamic. Because at the end of the day, you're getting to see this dad and the ghost of his 8-year-old kid being a superhero together. And so they're having, the father-son banter, and, they're doing all the crazy stuff to, replicate what they see in their favorite comics and what have you. So there is definitely a levity to it. Yes, at its core, there is absolutely a foundation dark storytelling. But
Mhm.
I think that one of the things that does make this book unique is that there is a light side to it, that there is an optimism and a humor to the book.
Right. Right. Because the basic premise, right? I don't know. Have you told that about what the suit is and how it functions?
I mean, obviously on like a bunch of streams, and then on the synopsis of the book, we've talked a bit about it. Where
Sure.
the suit is David's like when Clarence and David come together as the Embrace, it's David's ghost becomes that suit.
Yeah.
And so like the suit is powered by David's ghost.
Right.
And so yeah, like there is definitely, as you said, like there is a spookiness and a darkness to this character, but it's also pretty well balanced because a very large controlling part of this character's personality is an 8-year-old kid.
Yes. Plus, there is this driving force behind it, right? Because the reason that David died, right? The ones responsible. That's also why the Embrace comes to be, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the book is slowly working towards.
Is to bring David's killers to justice.
Right.
But there's a line between justice and vengeance, and the Embrace, or at least this iteration of the Embrace, does not cross that line.
Sure. I'm trying to be careful. And I don't know what you want people to know or don't want. What,
and I appreciate it.
Right. So right. Okay. You have some cool art. So who is this big dude here?
That guy is Strangle, and he is teased at the very end of the first book. And he is one of like the big villainous forces that's behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've read the first book, you can probably guess who Strangle is. It's a pretty poorly kept secret. But if you haven't, I'm looking forward to people like who are getting the chance to read the Embrace 1 for the first time, reading that and going right into the Embrace 2,
right, and
getting to see that, like getting to see the story play out in full time like that.
Mm-hmm. So what is Dean responsible for how Strangle looks, or
I mean,
his
yes,
role?
and so effectively, like, yeah, Dean does the character designs for these guys, but like I had a very specific thing in mind, especially when we started talking about it, because like initially the Embrace, like the gang was just going to be like standard thug gang, and then as the potential for this story grew, we agreed that there needed to be a more fitting antagonist for the character. And so we had like specific things in mind when approaching this design.
Okay, so this character was a later addition.
Yes, he was not. He is a character that the character who is Strangle is a character that I had always intended on having in the book.
Mm-hmm.
He just got a power up out of necessity of the story and how popular it had gotten. It was like, okay, well, we need to have like it for the sake of the spectacle. We're going to need a Venom to the Embrace's Spider-Man.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Really cool. Also to play up the superhero effect. Miranda says the art is so dynamic on this page. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So yeah, this is the main cover. Then you have some guest artists also. Like
we've got Irene Strachowski from Fiendish.
Mm-hmm.
Did this cover with Yvonne Pineda.
Wow.
And so one of the cool things that we're doing with this book is our stretch goals are not going to be tchotchke based.
Mhm.
We are instead investing that money into upgrading the covers. So our next stretch goal at 7,500 will upgrade this to a lava foil cover.
Lava foil?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Wow. A lot of. Okay. Okay. Beautiful art.
Yeah.
It's so recognizable also that you can recognize the artist by the style, right? That's really cool.
Yeah,
Cover
absolutely.
2 by Eder. Yes, I bought this one
Yes.
because I'm a fan of
You're
Eder.
actually the person that turned me on to Eder. You were showing me a whole bunch of concept work that he'd been doing for you, and I was like, I need to look into this guy's stuff. And then it was like the first professional credit that comes up on any bio on him is Spider-Man Last Hunt. And I was just like, okay, well, that has to happen.
Yeah, Eder, it's great. Really cool art. Nice colors. Again, by Avery Ferdinand.
Yep.
Yeah, really cool. Cover D, Bancroft. Wow, that's that you can.
We are the only people that have a Bancroft variant.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
And so we had him doing all the hands cover, and then hidden in this cover, in like a Where's Waldo style cover, is his infamous ginger root hand.
Right.
So
by the way, I just later noticed that he has these spikes on his leg. That was I didn't notice before. So do you give like artists like freedom to do anything they want, or do you guide them a little bit?
I mean, we give them the character sheets, obviously, and like our best covers that we have that I think best illustrate what the Embrace is. But like I do also want to allow some creative interpretation. But like I think that the strongest part of the Embrace and of any good superhero design is it has this kind of iconic and unique look to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I never want to stray too far from that. Like, interpretation is one thing, but like at the end of the day, if you're buying a Spider-Man book, you want Spider-Man to look like Spider-Man.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the Embrace. I want the Embrace to look like the Embrace.
Sure. Well, the same goes for all the other like superhero books. They're drawn by different people, but the characters need to be recognizable.
Yeah.
Last week or something, I saw this new design for Batman. I don't know if it's for a.
Are you talking about the absolute Batman that's done by Nick Dragotta, where he's just freaking massive? He's a
this massive guy with this logo. That's basically a block with a few. It's so weird, and I was like,
it is a weird design, but I love Nick Dragotta's art. Like, I really do. Like the bat symbol on that's really the only thing I have a massive problem with, because it's like it's almost a caricature of the Frank Miller bat symbol, right? Like, because Frank Miller's bat symbol in The Dark Knight Returns is very similar in its massive blockiness.
I thought the art is really cool. So the character design really cool, look nice, but he pushed it too far, I think, and it's no longer Batman. I feel still the character looks cool, but if it was a different character,
Yeah.
Anyway, Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby Robertson did this fantastic piece. It's so good. And so we made this into a limited edition glow-in-the-dark cover of the book.
Wow, glow-in-the-dark. Holy shit. Gorilla Mar says, cannot wait to back this project. This looks great.
Thanks so much, man. We're looking forward to you backing.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Share it out, guys. Share out this campaign.
Please. Indiegogo is certainly making it difficult for us. We've been, as I said at the beginning of the stream, we've been shadow banned since launch. So it's been fun.
Mhm.
And they have provided like no real good reason as to why we've been shadow banned, which is always entertaining.
They never do. So
Mhm.
this is what is this a new cover?
So it was one that we did a second chance Kickstarter a while back for the first book. And
Yeah.
so this is the edition of the first book that we have on this campaign. It's
Oh.
Joel Gomez did this beautiful piece for us that we partnered with the Virginia Victims Assistance Network on. And so like the Virginia Victims Assistance Network helps out victims of like crime and what have you in the state of Virginia. But the big thing that they do that we're supporting is they have support groups for homicide survivors. So effectively the friends and family and loved ones of homicide victims, right? And so the idea like with that being something that they do, the ability for us to be able to support real world victims of what the embrace of what Clarence and David went through was just I felt like it was a powerful thing for us to do and the right thing for us to do. At the end of the day, I think that any creator of a superhero would love to get to the point where not only is their superhero making a difference in the pages of their book and to their readers, but having a lasting impact and helping make the world a better place. And so this was a way for the Embrace to do that. And, that specific cover by Joel Gomez was done as a very specific tribute. Because one of the big inspirations for this book was right after my son was born, it was brought to this article was shown to me where this kid's body was found in this park that I used to walk through all the time.
Mhm.
Right. And so like your first thought as a parent is, man, that could have been my kid. Right. And so at the end of last year, the murderers of this kid were convicted. And so this cover by Joel Gomez is set at the Holmes Run River Park in Alexandria where that murder took place.
Right.
And so he's looking down into the creek, and the ghostly apparitions of Clarence and David are looking back up at the Embrace from the water.
Beautiful image.
So
and if people buy this, then $5 goes to the Virginia Victims Assistance Network.
Yep, and that's the same thing with the catch-up bundle and even the box, because you get a copy of the first issue in the box as well.
All right. That's good. So if you missed out, you can get on this through this catch-up bundle. You can get a plushie even. Limited to 16. You have 16 left.
We have less than that at this point. I guess I need to update that because we've sold I think 5 since the campaign's been live.
Oh, so that's excellent.
There's under 10 left.
All right. Great. You can get this one for $50. The glow in the dark cover.
Mm-hmm.
How did they do that? Right, glow in the dark cover. That's crazy.
I mean, I found a printer that does it, and so I'm actually going to be hitting them up to have them do like just a cover printout sample of that here this week.
So these will only be made by order, right?
Yeah, like it's literally so the way that it's going to work is we're running the Embrace 2 on all the major crowdfunding platforms for pretty much the rest of the year. It's going to be we do the Embrace 2, we do our 60 days on Indiegogo, then we do 30 days on Fund My Comic, then 30 days on Kickstarter, and then it will be in demand until we start fulfilling. And so the way this specific cover works is right now it is $50. This is the cheapest that it will be across all 3 platforms because we are only doing 50 of them, period. Yeah. So as these sell, the value goes up. So when we go to Fund My Comic, it could be anywhere between $65 and $75 for one of these. And then as we go to Kickstarter, it could be from $75 to $80. assuming there's even any left, right?
Right.
So, like, that's really what it comes down to.
All right. You made a collector's box even.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff in there.
So you have mini prints, you have all variants, the Embrace 1, the Embrace 2.
Well, I mean, the all the variances for the Embrace 2. Then you get a copy of the Embrace 1, which is that Virginia Victims Assistance Network cover.
Right. Yeah.
You get a stick. Then you get a sticky hand. You get a T-shirt, and you get the collector's box. And then you also get. I just didn't have space. You also get that spectral edition of the book that I was talking about.
Right. Shimhack?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Shimhack is the artist that did that art piece. He does digital paintings. And he
Really
did
cool.
a tremendous job on that Embrace piece.
Yeah. You can get original Dean James art.
Yep. I need to replace the pages that are up there. We've got 2 new ones. I'll be posting those up
These
in an
are sold?
update here soon.
These are sold.
Yeah. Outside of the double page spread, every original art piece that is on the double page spread and the glow in the dark Dean art are the only art pieces on the campaign that haven't sold yet.
Really cool. Dean must be so proud, right?
Yeah.
Really cool. You have more like the cover art. Yeah. Original art from Shelby.
Yep.
And some stretch goals. You unlocked some things.
So we've unlocked one thing so far, which is the upgrade to cover A.
Yeah.
So Dean's cover is gonna get a UV spot gloss treatment.
All right. Yeah. Great. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, there's a cover for everyone. So if you like superhero stuff, if you like horror, it's a bit of horror, or not? Would you classify this as?
I would. There's definitely elements of horror in this. Absolutely.
Right. Great.
I mean, it's a ghost story at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's true. Let me refresh. We have 76 backers. Guys, go share out this campaign. Go share out this book. Indiegogo is acting difficult. They shadow ban people for no apparent reason.
this will be the last Indiegogo campaign that I do. I am not giving them 8% for this
No.
piss poor level of customer service.
I know it's terrible. Right. The feature perk is the collector's box. Look at this difference, man, in euros and dollars. Right. You also get the digital. When you buy something, when you buy a physical book, you get a digital with it.
So yeah, for the Indiegogo and the Fund My Comic, it's just going to be you purchase the physical book and then you get a digital. For the Kickstarter, we will just straight up have a digital tier, and then obviously physical books get a digital copy.
Great. Yeah. Well, guys, you can browse through these. There are many options. People can also get your previous work, by the way. They can get Elysium Fields. They can get Judex.
Not on this campaign. And Judex is a very particular thing where, like, I Global Frequency Studio produced it, and so they have the distribution rights on it. So I can't just put Judex on things. You can still get Judex. The campaign is still in demand, and you can get like just the book tier. The El Guapo tier. So if you haven't gotten a chance, if you haven't picked up Judex yet, I do highly recommend it. It was a very, very good book. We made something very special there.
Can people find it? There is the shadow ban also.
No, you would need the link. It is shadow banned.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Right, but people can also find it through your Twitter profile, X profile.
I think so. Like it should still be up there. If not, if you go on to Global Frequency, I'm sure that they have it on their Twitter as well.
Right. So, is there anything else you want us to know?
There is actually. So, real quick, I'm going to share screen.
All right. Exciting stuff.
So,
IGG are a bunch of bitches.
There, yes.
Yeah.
There are two things that I want to promote here. So, first things first is a couple of weeks ago.
What's this?
I'm getting there. So a couple of weeks ago, I saw this artist post into one of the history groups that I'm in about a graphic novel that he was doing on Oden. But it was a Belgian French bande dessinée. And so I reached out to him to ask if they were going to ever translate it. And he said that his producer currently had no plans. And I was like, why the hell not? And so after talking to them, I convinced them to translate the book, and I am the translator.
Woo! Wow. So you gave yourself some work.
Yep, I got myself some work, and it's very exciting. The book is drop dead gorgeous. Please make sure that you guys are signed up. It will be launching sometime in September. I'll get a hard date to you, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool.
So
if you can you drop the link in the private chat so I can share it?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so people can sign up for Oden. So
yep. So that's one.
So what language? What language is this?
It's originally in French.
All right, French. Right.
So that's
how does it function? So how is your French?
Je parle un peu.
Mon Dieu, je voudrais bien une pêche là-bas. But
I can read and translate way better than I can speak at this point. Like I used to be pretty like conversational to the point of fluency, but like I haven't used it in over 5 or 6 years. So like I can still read things and get the general gist of things. Every now and again I have to look up a word. But like I'm like it takes me about like 10 minutes to translate one of these pages.
Oh wait, you got it here. You got it in there.
And then I style edit it to make sure that it's like good in English.
Comments. All right, guys, sign up to Oden. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Paste. Go check it out. Go sign up to that. And Felipe asks, what's with all the shadow bans? Why do they have to hide good products?
It's because Indiegogo is not a particularly good platform at this point. But I'm not going to, that's a whole other stream topic. And so then the other one that you can sign up for, and this will be launching in March of next year on the 5th year anniversary of Elysian Fields issue 0, is Elysian Fields Reborn.
Woo!
Where we have a new art team. I've completely redone the first script. It's a completely different book at this point. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be a blast.
That logo also is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I hired somebody on that, and they did just a tremendous job.
Wow. All right. People can sign up for that too. Do you have a link for that also?
Yep. Let me get you that.
All right. Because you don't want to miss out, guys, this is because the basic premise is pretty cool. Elysian Fields.
It's as the simplest way possible. It's Mortal Kombat with heroes of mythology.
Yeah. Who doesn't like that? That sounds fantastic.
Like that's like as broken down of a premise as you can get with Elysian Fields. And to show you guys a more a closer look at the art interior of the book, here's a page. I shared this the other day on the stream that I was live on, but
all right. Let me add that. Look at that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
If you have backed a previous Nine Realms book, or you have or you signed up for the Embrace mailing list, be sure to check your email, because you should have a secret tier link on the Indiegogo that will allow you to add this onto your purchase to the secret tier for $10.
Wow.
And that includes shipping.
That is beautiful. Really cool.
So
really cool, man. Doing good things. Excellent. All right, guys, you can check it all out. Miranda says, "I am so stoked for this."
Miranda has seen like all of the progress. I'm very, like, by the time that the preview is ready, she's going to have seen like all of it. Miranda is, of course, my lovely supporting girlfriend. She's amazing, and
fantastic. Yeah, you need that. You need a lot of support, because sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes I'm like with my partner also, like what am I doing to her sometimes, entire house filled with boxes. I'm working all night long, and it's yeah. So support is very very important. Michael, thank you so much for being my guest for today, sir, and for showing us your campaigns.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on, because I had this gap today, and so I was very happy that you could make it.
100%. You're gonna need to let me know when we're ready to do another one of those ethics streams. That was a good time last time.
Yeah. We will do that when we have a good topic to talk about, guys. Before we log off, I can ask you or show you like the pre-launch page for Perfect 10 Book 5 POWERTRIP Book 2. We go live next Saturday, so you have 1 week left to sign up for this and get something extra, so it's worthwhile. Look at this amazing art. This is pure superhero stuff. It's colorful, it's action packed, plus it has a very cool story.
Dude,
and we
that
have
power. I have no idea what's going on with Perfect 10 with that armor thing, but that is sick.
neither does POW, right? So because we often need to produce these covers before the book is finished, because we need to run campaigns, right?
100%.
So I tell POW I want one cover with this, and I want one cover with this, and he doesn't know why, but he just draws it, and it's just perfect. Yeah, it's fantastic, but it does mean that I can't change the story now. It's now set. Plus, guys, POWERTRIP Book 2. So POWERTRIP has 3 shorter stories. One of these stories will be written by Lee Byron Carver, and the other by Jochem van der Steen, some other Dutchie. So more people are joining the genuine universe, and more characters. Stop the screen. Michael, thank you, and special thanks to the chat. Thank you all so much for showing up.
Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us here today.
That's excellent. If you like this conversation, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'll be back next week. I don't have a guest yet for next week. So if you're watching, you have something going on, you have a campaign, or you have an animation, or whatever, you have something creative you want.
I can come on again, Dave. I'll promote something.
I know you can. So just reach out to me through X. The link is in the description of this video. Let me know, and we'll make it happen. So yes, and Jens, what did you think of the show today?
Sorry, Dave. I was not paying any attention because I was so distracted by you always touching your glasses.
No, I wasn't. Oh man, that's ridiculous. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.